December 16, 1944. Lanzerath Ridge, Belgium. Snow covered the Ardennes forest in a thin, deceptive layer, softening the ground but doing nothing to quiet the cold. The temperature hovered below freezing. Visibility was poor. The sky was low and gray. At exactly 5:30 a.m., the stillness shattered as German artillery opened fire across the American front. This was the opening of Unternehmen Wacht am Rhein, the German Ardennes offensive, Hitler's last major gamble in the West. At Lanzerath Ridge, a small village overlooking a critical road junction, the American presence was minimal. Just 9 enlisted men and 1 officer from the Intelligence and Reconnaissance Platoon, 394th Infantry Regiment, 99th Infantry Division were positioned there. They were not frontline infantry, they were observers. By nightfall, they would delay an entire German regiment. The Americans had arrived at Lanzerath only days earlier. Their position sat on a ridgeline overlooking a narrow road leading west, one of the few routes suitable for armor and infantry moving toward the Moose River. The men dug in along the edge of the ridge, using shallow foxholes scraped from frozen earth. They had no heavy weapons, no artillery support, no tanks. Their armament consisted of M1 Garand rifles, a single Browning automatic rifle, a .30 caliber machine gun, and limited ammunition. Their commanding officer was First Lieutenant Lyle Bouck Jr., just 20 years old. Below them, hidden by trees and fog, lay the approach route for the 3rd Fallschirmjäger Division, elite German paratroopers tasked with spearheading the offensive in this sector. At dawn, German infantry began moving through the forest. Bouck's men saw them first. They waited. The German soldiers, veterans, heavily armed, confident, advanced in column formation, unaware they were being watched from less than 300 yards away. Bouck gave the order to hold fire. The Americans knew their advantage was surprise. Once it was gone, there would be no second chance. At approximately 8:30 a.m., the 1st German unit reached the open ground below the ridge. Bouck waited until the column was fully exposed. Then he gave the order. The ridge erupted. American rifle fire tore into the German formation at point-blank range. The machine gun opened up, sweeping the road. The bar hammered into clustered figures. The effect was devastating. German soldiers fell instantly. Others scattered into the snow, scrambling for cover that didn't exist. The attack collapsed in minutes. The survivors retreated back into the forest. The Americans held their fire, conserving ammunition, listening to the wounded cry out below them. They knew this was not over. The Germans regrouped quickly. This was not a minor patrol. This was a regiment advancing on schedule, under pressure to move fast. They attacked again. This time, German machine guns and mortars answered the ridge. Tree bursts showered the American positions with splinters and debris. Snow and dirt filled the foxholes. The Americans stayed low. When the Germans advanced again, Bouck's men repeated the same tactic. Short, violent bursts of fire at close range. Again, the Germans broke. Hours passed like this. Attack, fire, withdrawal. Each time, the Germans believed they were facing a much larger force. The discipline and precision of the fire convinced them the ridge was heavily defended. It was not. By early afternoon, the temperature dropped further. Hands went numb. Weapons iced over. Ammunition ran dangerously low. 1 American was wounded. Then another. Still, they held. German officers attempted flanking maneuvers, pushing squads through the forest to the sides of the ridge. Each time, they ran into interlocking rifle fire that stopped them cold. The terrain worked in the Americans' favor. The slope forced the attackers uphill, exposed, while the defenders remained concealed. But concealment could not last forever. As daylight faded, the Germans changed tactics. Mortars targeted the ridge directly. Explosions walked across the American line. Shrapnel tore through trees and flesh alike. Bouck was wounded. The radio was destroyed. Ammunition was nearly gone. And still, no orders to withdraw. They had been forgotten. At approximately 4:30 p.m., German infantry advanced one final time, this time cautiously, probing, using covering fire and smoke. The Americans fired until their weapons clicked empty. Then the Germans reached the foxholes. Hand grenades followed. There was no escape. Outnumbered, wounded, and out of ammunition, Bouck ordered his men to surrender. They had held the ridge for nearly 20 hours. The Germans were stunned. They expected to capture dozens, maybe hundreds of defenders. Instead, they found 9 exhausted Americans. The delay at Lanzerath Ridge forced the German regiment to lose precious time that could never be recovered. The entire timetable of the northern advance slipped. That delay rippled outward, contributing to traffic jams, missed objectives, and confusion during the critical first day of the offensive. The Ardennes offensive would ultimately fail. The Americans were taken prisoner. For decades, their stand went unrecognized. No medals, no citations. Only after a detailed investigation in the 1980s did the truth emerge. In 1989, Lieutenant Lyle Bouck Jr. and his men were awarded the Presidential Unit Citation, one of the highest honors in the U.S. Army. It was long overdue. At Lanzerath Ridge, 9 soldiers did not change the war, but they changed a day. And on December 16, 1944, that was enough.